So what is the trivium? Just, it's the art of learning how to learn, and we're going to have some great presenters go into a lot more detail on that today. The Pythagorean triangle, the 3, 4, 5 triangle, we'll be talking about that. And then, I'm not going to go over the rest of it because that's actually going to be in the presentations. So if you're ready, do you want to just get us going right now and go through your presentation?
Good.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and give Joe a big round of applause. This is his first time presenting on the Trivium Method. And we're excited for it. Thank you, Joe.
I'm not nervous at all. So I'm passing around just kind of a little outline of what I said. And, if I start speaking too fast, which I might, tell me to shut up and slow down, and we'll go from there. But everyone says it's you can't truly know something unless you're able to teach it and you're ready. So this is what I'm trying to do today. We'll start with a quote. It's a mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it, from Aristotle. And to take it to the next level, it's also critical. You don't want to, you want to take in all the information. You want to get all the info you possibly can, but you also have to be a critical thinker. And you want to be able to decipher, truth from BS or something that's trying to manipulate you or whatever it may be. So, first off, the Trivium is the first of the 7, it's the first 3 of the 7 liberal arts. And I thought it was interesting that it's part of 7 because so many things in our world are 7. So, like for example, like in the Bible, Jordan Maxwell research, he talks about Eli and I'm blanking, but El and well, I'm blanking right now.
Elohim.
Yeah, the Elohim, but that's not the word. Just the old cults, like the cult of El and things like that, and they worship the sun, the moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, the 7 lights in the sky, 7 up. That's where we actually get 7 up from. According to Michael Cesarian's research. The 7 liberal arts, the 7 chakras, the energy vortexes of, in your body, 7 wonders of the world, and the slot machines, 3 7s is a win. So it's just something that comes up all the time. The Trivium is used to make you ask the who, what, where, when, and why, and how. And the Trivium has to be used in a specific order, the grammar, logic, rhetoric. It has to be used in that order. Some people like Aleister Crowley, who are a little bit darker in what they talk about, they speak about the Trivium in different orders. And that's not correct. Some examples of how we use the Trivium out of orders would be 9/11. It happened, then all of a sudden we're acting upon it without ever taking in all the facts, taking in all the logic, all the grammar, and anything like that. And so all of a sudden we're in this war. We're still at this war for the wrong reasons. There was no weapons of mass destruction. There was, they're there taking opium and trying to get rid of central banks. And so that's just an example of how that kind of relates to us on day-to-day life. So we act first, rhetoric, questions later, grammar, logic. You need to ask questions first and then act after. False flags are another good example of this. They appeal to people's emotion and try to make things happen based on that. So the who of the Trivium. There's a lot of different things. Aristotle developed it in its modern form, and Pythagoras was said to develop the quadrivium. But if you look in books like the Kybalion and Deep, you'll see that Hermes Trismegistus is who they talk about. He was the one, he was the Greek, I guess, god of thought and just the processes. So you hear a lot about that. And then Thoth from Egypt or Chem, you hear a ton about him in the mystery schools teaching this process to people. And so I don't know if Thoth and Hermes are real people or anything like that, but it seems to be an archetype of something, and it's some of the stuff you'll read. So that's the who of it. The what, it's from Latin. It's trace or tria, so for 3, and via ve, the path or road. So the actual word, the little etymology of the word means the 3 paths, or the 3 pathways. And then I also read that way isn't necessarily like the way of the path, but just a way to do something. It's a pathway to truth. It's how you get all the knowledge you can, run it through, check out all the logic, and then come up with a blueprint, the rhetoric of it. The where's the Trivium? Where can you use it? You could apply it to everything, all information, anything that you could find. You want to use it as much as you can. You want to retrain yourself to think like that. It's hard. We're so accustomed to be doing what we're doing and everything that we do on a daily basis. It's hard to change what you think is normal, is right. So it's something we change. When was the Trivium invented? It's a really good question. It seems to be an ancient esoteric myth. You hear about esoteric teachings and mystery schools. Some will say it will be with Pythagoras and Aristotle and back then, but it's hard for me to truly believe that when you have people like Graham Hancock and Michael Cremo, who have essentially proven that the world's much older than we could possibly imagine. So you have things like the pyramids and a lot of megalithic structures that we can't explain, that we can't do today, we can't recreate. So I think it's just lost knowledge. I think that somewhere along the line we somehow devolved. Because I don't think we're at the pinnacle of society, of human evolution at this point, if you just look around. And then why? And why do you want to know the Trivium? So we can be autodidactic, self-governing, sovereign. We want to teach ourselves how to find our own truths. We don't need people telling us what to do. We don't need politicians saying this is how it's going to be and why. We want to do that work ourselves, and together we could come up with a world as opposed to the world that's being created for us. I thought that Trivium is a philosophy. It's a science of cause and effect. You know, it's kind of like it works like a computer in a way, is that you take in information, you process that information, and then you output what you get. Obviously, it's not a computer. We're not that mechanical, but it's the same kind of process. And if you get bad information, it's going to create a virus, and you're going to pass that virus on other people. It's not going to be truth. So it's important that we do this. And then how? And then, you know, through rhetoric, how do we create? What we learn, how we create it, whether it be books, audio books, you know, whatever. There's a million ways you could teach someone. So then that's what we want to do with the how. So it's grammar, logic, rhetoric, knowledge, understanding, wisdom. So we start with grammar. Grammar is the first process of Trivium. And English is a very deceptive language. So I sometimes think that rhetoric is, a lot of times when I try to talk to my friends and try to explain them stuff, I'm trying to come up with the words, but I just can't. I just can't do it. And I read this quote, I thought it was really good. It says, rich as the English language is in media of expression, it is curiously lacking in terms suitable to the convenience of abstract philosophical premiers. A certain intuitive grasp of the subtler meanings concealed within a group of inadequate words is necessary, therefore, to an understanding of the ancient mystery teachings. And that's by Manly Peath Hall, it's the book, The Secret Teaching of All Ages.
Great book.
That's good stuff, yeah.
Very good.
And then it also brings the importance of etymology, which is the science and study of words, like where words truly come from, what are their true meanings, because a lot of the words we use just aren't exactly what we think they are. And another quote I wanted to use for grammar was, which I thought was interesting. I'm not a religious person by any means, but it's the first quote of the Bible. It says, "In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness over the surface deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And then God said, let there be light." So he said it, he spoke it. It was a vibratory frequency, it was something like that. So even then they're referring to grammar, actual words, you know? And then grammar, you know, in its basic form is just information, taking everything you possibly can. Whether it be right or wrong, you want to have all the facts, or not all the facts, but all the information, so you're not pulling from just a fragmented version of it. How could you get the whole truth if you don't have everything? The second part of the Trivium is logic. This is my favorite part of the Trivium, because you just got to run arguments through, you know, I like to call it the fallacy machine, and just see where there's holes in logic. And so, the etymology of the word fallacy, it's Latin for fallere, which means deceive, and then phallax, which is deceiving, and then fallacy, which is deception or guile. So the literal translation of the word fallacy means to deceive. You know, one of the examples I like to use for fallacies is the government. The government loves to use fallacies. For example, ad hominem. This guy's a liberal, he's a complete idiot, he has no idea what he's talking about with those thoughts. That has nothing to do with what he's saying. They're just taking a shot at the person, you know, or the false dichotomy. If we don't go to war, then we're all going to die. Or, you know, if we don't stop terrorism, then terrorism is going to be here. It's not either or. It's not. It's never, things aren't just black and white. There's so much more to it. Another fallacy from recent events is the DNC with the leak of, you know, how they pretty much rigged the election. And then, so, I mean, this is pretty big news, right? And all of a sudden all they're talking about is, Russia did it. I can't believe these people would do it. You know, how could someone actually take the time to do this? Wait a second, we're talking about who did it. We're not talking about the actual information at hand. So the red herring fallacy. Same with Edward Snowden. Is he really an American? What are we talking about? We're talking about what they're doing. They're spying on us. And all the, you know, the NSA, and he's exposed this information. It's the last thing they ever talk about. So, and then another fallacy that I think we're all guilty of is the appeal to authority. Just because someone's wearing a white coat or someone is in a profession, we tend to believe that and take that as true, without ever actually questioning what they say. I mean, we know for a fact from the medical field now that things like marijuana, there's health benefits to it. There's many health benefits, but we don't take that as fact because it's not told from. Hey, bud.
What's up, Joe?
What's that?
So we don't take the, you know, so. There's just a lot of problems. And then even just when you're talking about a corporation, or a corporation is trying to sell you something, I mean, you need to know that's the bottom line. You know, that's what they're doing. You know, the company I work for, the bottom line is the shareholders. That's all they care about. They don't care about anything else. So if the goal is to make money, can we really sit there and pretend like our best interests are in mind? No. No, and so that's why I think, so the logic form of the Trivium was really fun to kind of break through and just kind of see all the different, you know, fallacies that are going on. And then rhetoric. Rhetoric is the wisdom, the how-to, the knowledge, kind of what I'm trying to do today, is trying to take everything I've learned and explain it. And it's true, as Odysseus and John, you guys told us, which as soon as you try to teach it, try to learn it, you realize how much you don't know when you're trying to teach it. So I'm sitting there trying to put a presentation together, oh shoot, I better check that, I better check that, and it does, it forces you to be better with what you're doing. And so that's kind of what it was at. And you know, rhetoric is creation. I think that's what humans are. We create things. That's what we're capable of doing. And if we create things with the best intentions in mind, using this method, I think that we're really going to evolve in a much better way than we have been in the last 6,000 years. And yeah, and if you guys have the sheet, I listed a bunch of sources and stuff that I found. So that's my take on the Trivium.
Wonderful, great job. Questions? Any questions for him?
Yeah, if we had one takeaway, what would you want us to take away from this?
Yes, yes.
I guess just to understand the process of the system and try to, learn it, like just take it step at a time, like take the facts, understand them, fact check them yourself, and don't look for someone else, let's try to, the responsibility is on you. And everyone gets to that point where everybody's doing their own work, and everybody's taking the time to understand these things, and I think with the growth, it will just be exponential. We'll come along with it. Yes?
Thank you, that was very helpful. The second question is, this is two of many, by the way. How do you respond to someone who's giving you information that you need time to process without being, like, how do you communicate appropriately so that it's not confrontational, or you're not like making them feel, that making them feel hurt or stupid?
Well, I think I learned that the hard way. Kenny could attest to this. When I first kind of started learning and getting into this stuff, I was very in everybody's face. Like, you have to learn this is the way this is not right, this is not true. I was like, dude, calm down. And I think it's really just up to the individual. Like, just have to kind of tell them what you think in a calm way, and it's up to them to take it from there. They have to be willing to learn. The person has to be willing to take the next level. And from my perspective, I can only, show so much or try to help so much, and then from that point, you just have to kind of back off and let them do whatever they're going to do.
Thank you, Joe.
No more questions.
No more questions from you, maybe.
You're off the hook.
Anybody else have any questions about the Trivium method, or yeah?
How has the Trivium helped you since before you learned it, and now that you've learned it, what difference have you seen in your life?
It's helped me be more truthful with myself about a lot of things that I used to do and why I did them. I never really knew why. I just did it because I was told, or I thought it was right, or whatever reason it may be. So it's helped me kind of take a step back, reflect on everything that I do. And I'm still not perfect. I still do things that I shouldn't be doing and stuff like that. But it's, it just helped me see it in myself and try to help me grow as a person.
Cool. Any other questions?
Cool, awesome. Good job, great work. Thanks for having the courage.